Hi, my name is Kevin, and I'm going to present to you my designs for happiness and subjective well-being. I got the object of a chair, and my interpretation of a chair is something that takes you away from your standing life and helps you rest, work, reflect, and invigorates you and leaves you with a positive point of view when you go back to your standing life. And so I would like to transform the chair with what we've learned from pleasure, personal significance, and virtue to contribute to human flourishing. My approach for designing for pleasure was to create a space where you can connect with nature, and then a different chair which gives you a space where you can connect with your loved ones. So my first concept is an outdoor sanctuary. My persona is an informal caregiver with an ill family member, and they have a job, but at home they have a lot of chores and they often forget time to take pleasure for themselves. So I wanted to use the powerful alibi of going out for a smoke and take the alibi of going out to water the plants to bring this persona outside to connect them with nature. So what I did was I integrated the chair into the garden to make a hideaway for them. In the short term, having connection with nature can give pleasure, and in the long term, providing care for nature, showing that virtue, can give you a source of fulfillment, and just being relaxed, achieving that goal in your life can also give you long-term balance. My second concept was inspired from the twofold pleasure you get in a hot tub: the physio pleasure, the warm sensation, and the socio pleasure, enjoying the experience with others. So I wanted to create that experience indoors for family and friends to share together, and I designed a booth that has a really low barrier of use. It's still something a family can watch TV on together, but they can also enjoy a massage together, and that's where the controls are in the center. You can just say, hey mom, let's have a massage and enjoy the pleasure together. So it's quite simple actually. And the variation you get through it is the different uses. So if you have friends over, you can have a new experience, and it's still a place where you can achieve your goal of spending family time and show the virtue of love and caring. So that was my balanced approach to pleasure. My approach to designing for personal significance was to create enabling tools that let you reach your goals and which you build a relationship with. My first concept was for a stressed student who wants to balance work and life and actually take meaningful breaks. It was inspired by a self-control application which blocks Facebook, and it's a hammock for which you set a time, and it lifts you up in the air on pulleys and just simply doesn't let you down until your time is over. So it forces you to commit to whatever you wanted to do at that moment: reading, thinking, breathing, resting. The long-term impact is that it's also a place you can relax and get pleasure at just being alone, and it helps you reach your goal of time management. So it's something you really learn to appreciate. I think you push yourself to take this break, and you can really give it variation. My other persona's goal was to achieve mindfulness, and they don't have the time to do yoga, but what they do need is this product, which is just kind of a buddy that can help you calm down. Exhale is a mat you can recline on to do breathing exercises, and through contact with the skin it monitors your breathing and heart rate, and it helps you breathe in and out deeply with gentle motions. So it really lets you just lose track of time, and over time you actually may outlive this product, but for every time that you do need it, it's a reminder and it's there for you. I found designing for virtues very challenging because virtues should be pursued for their own right, so I was very careful not to introduce external rewards. And what I did notice is that it's useful to actually just bend social situations in a way to create opportunities for people to take initiative in being virtuous. And that's what the first concept really is. It's a waiting area at a train station which allows strangers to give random acts of kindness to each other. So when somebody sits across from you, an advertisement actually turns into a one-way mirror, and you're kind of pondering at the person across, and you get the opportunity to send an anonymous kind text message to that person, and that person receives it, and later in the day they might decide to answer you back, and you might be surprised that you got a thank you message. The reason I designed it is because often at train stations we're just all on our phones and ignoring each other, and we always have the opportunity to be virtuous to another, but if we're reminded, if we have the opportunity to take that initiative, we probably are more likely to take it. So I really wanted to create that, and the pleasure might come out from actually brightening somebody else's day. My other chair for virtue is a ritual object which allows you to just reflect on your relationship with a dying family member and make the most of all the time you have left together. I was inspired by carving, and I wanted to make a chair which you don't sit on, but rather carve depending on what you commit to with your time. The idea behind the stool is to keep it in a private place, somewhere where you see it quite often, and you reflect on how you can show gratitude and love to your family member beyond what's expected and beyond what you would normally do. And once you commit to the action, you make a carving, and you can keep it in a diary and explain what was your intention. And when you follow through on the diary, you can put the wood shaving in the chair. And when the family member does pass away, kind of a coping ritual could be to burn the shavings of the moments you did actually spend together, and the face of the stool becomes a clock that you put on the wall as a positive reminder for the times you did actually cherish together. It's a bit of a touchy subject, but I do think it does contribute to subjective well-being, because it's tough to have a dying family member, and this object can actually help you remember that you do actually have time together left, and you should actually express the virtues so the user can actually take the object how they want and input in every virtue they want to exhibit, and it's a token of it's a symbol of the relationship that they did have. So although it can be difficult to think about loss, I really wanted to get people to think about the time which they do have. All in all, I found the course quite fun, and I like that we had an object that we had to fix on, because it really focused on the experience you delivered around. And well, I'm really happy to answer any of your questions you might have about my designs. Thank you very much for your attention.